everybody. Gosh, I hope we're all okay after a bit of a warm night last night. It was a bit tricky. We're all a bit slower than usual today in the office because we've not had much sleep, but that's okay. It's now July the 1st, and here we are, tile number 558, or I think so. I'm sure one of you will put me right if I'm not. And what do I have? I've got a white tile here, but I've inked it with two different blues. You see, I've got a dark blue at the top there. Well, it's at the top now. And a light blue at the bottom. And what I've done, I've used that wonderful stuff called the pink stuff. And I literally spritzed it on. You see, it sort of bubbled up a little bit. And completely left it to dry, which didn't take long. And it's given me this lovely sort of mottled background with a little bit of a highlight, because I didn't put any ink in the middle there. So I am going to have this piece here at the top. So I did want it a bit darker there, but it doesn't matter. You could do it. I could do it the other way. I could do it the other way. It doesn't really matter. Shall I do it? I'm going to do it that way. Just because I'm all right. I could change my mind. I'm allowed. It's my tile. So, okay, I'm going to come in straight away. Now, am I? Yes, with pen. Morning, afternoon, everybody, afternoon. Let's go in a little bit bigger, shall we, so you can see what I'm doing. And, okay, you know what? Yeah, I am going to stick with my my pen, but it's entirely up to you. Oh, I'm just going to take my watch off as well. I know sometimes it causes a problem. So, okay, and I'm going to start. It doesn't really matter where we start. I'm going to put myself a little bit of a droplet shape there. And I'm going to leave the top, so I've left it open. So let's get a few more of those in. Now I want them all at different sort of heights. Okay, like that. And let's have another one down here. Now they're not huge, but they're, you know, nice little size. I'll zoom out in a minute so you can see what I mean. And I've sort of worked my way across the page. So I've got 4 in at the minute. Let's put another one here. I'm going to go with a small one. Like that. Okay. So far, so good. All right. So next thing then, what I want to do is I want to put some lines in. Now, of course, me being that I'm working downstairs today, I haven't got my red ruler with me. But that's okay. I've got a tile here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my tile up, and I want to draw a straight line. Do you know, I'm going to turn it round, because then, you know, if your pen ever, sometimes, you know, it'll flick out. If it goes, it's going on the back and it's not going to mark the front. So I've got that. Okay. And afternoon, Leslie. I've got Maureen there as well. Here we go. This one. And 1st of July is all I need to announce the winner, don't I, of the June diary challenge. I'll do that later. Let's just focus on what we're doing here and now. Okay. So I'm sure last night, you know, the phrase praying for rain. I know, it won't be long, it'll be raining and be like, gosh, I wish it was hot. Wish the sun was out. Can't have it always, can we? We need both. So we have to take it when it comes. Okay, so we've got that going on. So I'm going to put a couple more in. Let's have a look. I'm going to do them a little bit smaller. So let's have one here, like that. And sort of one up here, look. So yeah, they are smaller. Let's put one in. Oh, decisions to make. I'm going to go here. But again, look, I'm not doing them all at level. They're all different sort of heights. But I'm still going to come in, look, put those straight edges in. All right. See? See, I'm lining it up as well with the bottom of my piece. You could line it up with the top, so I know that I'm getting that vertical line in. Like that. And see this side, you see I haven't got much to go with there, so there's nothing stopping me like turning it round, so I've got a little bit more that I can line it up against, and I know then I'm safe in the knowledge I'm going to get, hopefully, a vertical line. Bit bit of salt on from last time then. There you go. All right, so far so good. We've got that going on. So what I'm going to do now, let's have a move out so you can see what I've got there. Okay, so that's just my tile that I was using to... So I've got that going on. I'm going to turn it now. I'm left-handed and I want to work on this bit here, so I'm going to turn it this way. If you're right-handed, you could turn it that way and then you're going to work on this bit here. Okay, hopefully everybody's got that. So I'm turning it that way. Let's go back in again. All right. So my idea here is I'm going to start, doesn't matter where, start here, and I'm going to put in a swirl, but my swirl is going to be slightly more oval. And you see I've got like a dot dash or a dashed line. Don't go too wild. You know, you don't want to have it too sort of wide or the distance apart. Okay, I'm going to go around there. It's going to kind of join itself. We go along there. See? Okay. So I'm going to do a few of these. Let's do another one here. So again, sort of dots and dashes. Or just dashes or just dots, whatever works. But we're going to follow it round, not going too wide. Along we go. See, I'm going to get to about here and then I can sort of break it up a little bit more, see? Okay. So, let's get another one. I'm going to do another one here. I think sometimes if you put them too close together first, you can end up with a bit of a repetition or a pattern that's the same. And although we're doing the same design, they're not going to look the same when they're done. So I'm going to move them about a little bit. Okay. So let's do one at this corner. Gosh, it's still warm up here today in the classroom at the minute. All right. Although we know we're doing our last class here in a couple of weeks' time. So things are changing on a little bit from there, but of course I'm on Hobby Maker this weekend. And then I think the next class after July, we're doing classes in September, but they are down in Stoke-on-Trent. So don't think you've lost me completely with classes. It's not the case. And I'm going to sort another online out or two as well. You see, it's forming here. So, you know, things change, but I think we're going to be okay. All right. So, sort of following the same pattern. You know, keeping it a bit different. You could also do these in different colours if you wanted to. You don't have to keep it the same. You could mix it up a bit. Or do even a grey maybe and have the main droplets as the main colour. Of course, doing this white on a darker tile, you could do that. There's all sorts of options, isn't there? And whether you turn it into a card, whether you go into a bigger picture, there's all sorts of things you can do with it. Right, see, we started with that really large one there, so I'm going to do a smaller one there, and one here. That sounds nice, somebody with a hose downstairs outside. I'm going to give my car a clean. I think it needs it. Bit of TLC. All right. There you go. So look at that. I still think there's a few here on this end. See, it's going all the way along to the end there. But I think we need to just do a few in here as well. Okay, see a little bit there, so it looks like it's going around and to there. Let's have a little look at that. Okay, so that's our first protocol. So next little bit there, got that in. You could do as much or as little as you wanted of that. It's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to do a couple of little lines coming up and off. So here we go. See? Oh goodness me, 32. Oh, Lynn, it absolutely is the start of something new. It is. You know, things don't always stay the same, and I think that's a good thing, isn't it? We have to sort of develop and change. See, I'm not doing that on all of them, just a couple of little dots and dashes coming up like that. Okay. So I'm going to sort of work back on these pieces now. And what I want to do, it's a slight change because I'm not using the straight edge anymore. I'm going to sort of come down, a very sort of slight wobble in it, or a big wobble, whatever works. Let's go back up. So I've got like a little shape like that. And I could put a couple of little droplets on there. Okay, let's do another one. I'm not going to try and make these completely uniform. I just want to put some in. Okay, so that one's smaller. Maybe just one dot at the end of it. So I'm going to move to another part of the piece and do another C. So I've covered that other one up. I don't know what's happening there. And it doesn't matter, I don't need to know what's going on in the rest of the piece there. And up and along we go, like so. So I've gone almost to the bottom there. I'm not going to put a droplet there. So let's do another one. Okay. And in and along this one. We go, a couple of little dots, and same one, so we just sort of keep adding a few of these. Again, we're not trying to make them the same length or anything like that, we just want them to sort of flow. Maybe another one here. Let's have a look at that then, because again, I don't want to completely fill the space up. All right, so you can see quite clearly there, we've got nice flow of it there, but we've got a bit of a gap here. So I'm going to put just one in. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Ooh, and back up. See, I don't mind if they wobble a little bit, it's fine. Again. So I'm going to put a couple of dots at the bottom of that one. Okay. Whew. All right, so bubbles. Let's get some bubbles in. So we're going to kind of work in different sizes and things. I'm going to have one sort of going behind that one. So it's gone off a little bit. There you go. So just sort of add them in as we go in. It round. Ooh, now I don't want to sort of do the same on every one. So let's put another one there, look. So, you know, kind of mix it up a little bit. You see? Let's just put a few in here. Okay, we can have the odd one going behind. Okay. Whew. All right, let's have a look then. I'm going to come in with some coloured pencils to start with, I think. Now, I could stick with just blue, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of other colours in here. So first of all, I will start with a bit of blue. What have I got? Summer sky. Let's go in a little bit more. I'm going to go with this one. No, go in with this one. Bit of summer sky in. Just sort of going to lightly cover the whole thing. Bit of dark sea blue, so this is kind of my darkest colour I'm going to put on there, sort of round as we go, and a bit of mid-sea. See, it's working it round in little swirls as we go. See, sometimes it doesn't take a massive amount of time to colour, does it? See, that's my sky again. Bring the white in, give it a little bit of a highlight there. Maybe just a touch of that dark in again. So I'm going to keep my white out, and I'm just going to have a little bit of a play with some of these colours here. So let's bring in light summer yellow. I'm going to bring that one in here. And again, just nice and lightly as I did with that last blue. And what have I got? A bit of mid-orange. Let's bring that in. It's very close. You know, it's going to give you a nice blend. See that one, does it need a darker? Let's put that lighter yellow in. And a little bit of white. And a little bit more mid-orange. A little bit of yellow. Okay, oh actually I'm going to go up there a little bit as well. Orange back. And a little bit of white. See how that works? Let's have a little look. I better go back in and do the blue up that line as well, hadn't I? Let's go for the mid colour, because they're quite fine. A little bit of that in. Just always check, you know, your white pencil, because now it's got a bit of yellow on the end. I don't want to sort of mix that with the blue, because otherwise it's going to go green. I want to keep it blue. That's it. All right, look at that. Okay, a bit of pink then. What have I got? Light rose, mid rose. Let's do a bit of pink. So this is my mid rose. So again, I've kind of referred now. I've gone back to the dark and then putting the light in. It goes to show you don't really have to sort of, there isn't a set way of colouring. It's whatever works for you. Yeah, sometimes it is better to put the light first. Then you've got something to start blending towards. It tends to blend a little bit easier. But I'm sure you're all experts by now. So you don't need me to tell you how to colour anymore. Let's put a little bit of... Now notice that I am, when I'm putting the colour on the lines here, I am doing the colour on the right hand side and coming back down the white on the left. Doesn't really matter, I just think that once you've decided, stick with it so they all look similar. Okay, got to have a red and a little bit of Sanntangle red. So let's put the lighter one in. I'm going to go along here, look. There's my lighter, see. Ooh. Oh, I didn't sharpen this from the other day, did I? Put a little bit on, be careful with it. Bit of Sanntangle. Look at that. Bit of this. So it just goes to show that I need to sharpen my pencil. Let's use that bit there. You know, just pressing on lightly. Again, I'm just going to make sure there's nothing on there. Look. Come back in with that one. Definitely, obviously, going in with the Sanntangle red. And I will sharpen that one later. These things have to be done now and again. Okay. So keeping my white, putting my reds back. Let's do a little bit of peach. I think sometimes the peaches aren't used a massive amount, are they? But they're really good. Let's use a bit of light. They work as well, ever so well, with the browns. And if you need something a little bit of a paler orange or a skin tone, they work really well. So, you know, don't discard them. They're lovely colours. They actually work nicely with the pinks as well. There you go. A bit of peach. Let's put a bit more dark in there. All right. A bit of purple. What have we got here? So I'm going to come in with Forget-Me-Not. Love this colour. Now as they get smaller, you don't really need much colour in there. It's sort of going to deal with itself. So, you know, in terms of blending and things like that, there's not a lot you can do. It's almost like a gesture of colour. Okay, so we've got a couple more. So let's have a look. Let's bring in a bit of the green, sunny green. And grass green. Okay. A difference there. A little bit of that one in. Let's take it up there. White again, just check. Oh, white chalk. Just checking there's nothing, no other colour on the end of that. And then we go with it. All right, well, one more colour. So we've done red, yellow, blue, green, orange, purple, pink. What about coming in with, we've not actually done orange, have we? So let's bring that clementine in. There we go. And let's have a look, a little bit of mid-orange. Doesn't need much because it's quite small. And back in with that one. And along we go. Okay, so bubbles wise and our extra little sort of tendrily shapes, I'm going to come in with, I think bubbles wise, I'm going to put a couple of little bits of colour in. I'm going to come back with my white in a minute, do all of them at the same time. But you see, when I'm using these colours, I'm not doing them at the same place. You see, I've given them a bit of space. So see, my yellow, I'm not going to do it here. I'll do one up here, look. And my peach, there's my peach, so I'll do one sort of over here. I'm not going to do them all. Let's bring that to Sanntangle red back and do one there, look. Okay, so with the white, I'm going to start with the lightest, which is my yellow. And then a bit of peach, a bit of red, the blue, and the purple. That'll cover that. So regular pencil. Okay, let's go in. So rather than colour inside, what I want to do is colour, or just add a little bit of pencil to the outside. Now once you've decided which side you're going to do this, stick to it. And you see, just a little bit on the outer edge. I'm not going to do all of them because they're quite small. To these ones. Just sort of a little bit on one side. And then I'm going to again, oh, no, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was going to say I've not coloured that in. I've not coloured a few of them in. I'm going to go down the edge. Again, it doesn't matter which side you choose, just stick to it once you've done it. And I'm not really pressing on, I'm not doing a massive amount, just enough to give it some coverage. And this one. And that one. And up there. So I'm going to turn it on its side. Remember these swirls? Let's have a look at these. See where that one looks like it's underneath that one, you see? I'm going to add a little bit of pencil there, like that. And that one looks like it's underneath that one. So a bit of pencil, look, around there. And I've got that's going under there a little bit. And then that one, a little bit there. See how it's sort of kind of, see, that one's going under that one, so a bit of pencil there, pencil there, pencil there. So, Tortillon, might as well do these being that I'm here. Just give them a little bit of a smooch there. Sort of follow it round a bit. Just want to soften it all off. Just, as we go. Oh, a little bit there, look. Okay. And our little lines here. So I'm just sort of working my way down. See, I've done those, but as I come to these, I can add a little bit of a line on them. See, look, a little bit. So not too much. We don't want all the graphite colour covering all those colours and things. We just want a little bit of softness, like so. Okay. Oh, missed a bit of pencil there. That's okay. There are plenty on that Tortillon to deal with that. In and along. Bits there. And along that one. Okay, let's have a little look at that. It's got a bit bigger. Let me, there you go. All right, so I'm going to come back in with that regular pencil because what I want to do is add a little bit of pencil around there as well. See, just a little bit there, look, a touch there. on each one, so it does sort of give it the impression that it's sort of not just sort of sat there. I'm back with that Tortillon. Got a little bit of a sort of a blend out. Okay. Sort of work it up a little bit. See, it just gives it that little hint of shadow. All right, so I'm going to bring in my white chalk pencil now. Not much I could do with it in a sense, but it's because I've put the blue ink down the bottom. Even though I'm on a white tile, I can still come in and add a little bit of white, you know, just to those top edges. And it's going to show just because I've got the ink there, which is probably better that I put the darker one at the bottom there. Like so. This is, it's giving it a little hint of whiteness there. And then my white gel pen. Just going to check it works. And I need a little bit of a highlight. So here we go. I'm going to put in a little bit of a... I'll do one, I'll zoom in, let you see it. Okay, here we go. You see? So it sort of starts as a bit of a line and it's gone into dots. I'm still going to do it on the yellow, although you're not going to see it seriously clearly. Let's make sure it's working. Still going to get a bit of it on there. Let's do the same here. Again, because I've followed the same sort of process and all my darks are on the left side, I'm doing that. See it? I'm going to do a little bit on them bubbles as well, you know, the ones I've coloured. And if you've got enough ink sort of in the places where you can see just the plain ones, you can add a bit of highlight there. See? But you're not going to see much of it, depending on how dark your tile is. Okay. All right, almost done. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come back in with my black pen, my fine liner. And what I want to do is just in between some of the areas, I just want to put some little dot dash lines, you know, as we would do normally, a bit of a wave. Let me just take that in and show you what I mean. See? Like that. So again, I'm not going to do them all the same level or match them all completely. But it's just nice to bring a little bit of something over the top there. See, we could have put it in before we did the pencil shading. But I wanted this to sort of, see, I'm going all the way down to the bottom there, look. A couple little dashes off there. Let's have a little look. What want me to? There you go. Alright. See, just sort of follow it down. Go. Little bits there. Okay. All right. So there we go. There's our tile for the day. As much as, you know, we love the sun, I'm sure we're praying for a little bit of rain just for some light relief. So I do hope you've enjoyed that and it's giving you a little bit of a chill out. Okay. But there's our tile for the day. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a go. Maybe try it and mix it in with other things. It's a real nice little topper there. So, okay, I'm going to leave you to it and enjoy the rest of the warm weather and maybe go and have a cup of tea. But other than that, I will catch you on Friday for our next tile. So, okay, have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.